has about 300 students in it, and also in undergraduate and graduate programs. So I have worked with him on that board. I know what it has taken in order to make a success of that, and I know the kind of place that that college is filling that San Diego State University, UCSD, and none of our state colleges can really fill for people who come to the United States as immigrants and have higher education training but cannot get jobs in their fields. And so I would like to welcome and give a strong welcome to my friend Felipe Hueso.
Well, I live in Sherman Heights, which is not far away. My mother still lives in Logan, as do some of my brothers. There's 9 of us, 8 males and 1 female. So when we have family reunions, my brothers like to play football, or they like to play, different sports, but everybody likes to rough everybody up. And now that I'm 50 years old, I don't participate in those sports anymore. I'd rather play my guitar and sing a few songs and keep a positive attitude, because having such a large family can be pretty contentious. We're not all aligned along the same political ideologies. There's a lot of diversity, as you can imagine. We've all had different experiences in life. I'm the second oldest, but I'm the first to go to college. I was just telling the congressman's representative that we went to the same high school. St. Augustine High School is where I went. And I was privileged to go there because my parents, although they had an elementary school education, they understood that education was going to set us apart. So from kindergarten to 12th grade, I attended Catholic parochial schools, which, if any of you have attended, there's a lot of discipline. I had nuns, I had priests. Fortunately, I never had any issues with molestation. The fact that I went to a school where, we had this rigorous academic program, and I think, I didn't mean to digress with that comment, but we know about these issues, and the good thing is I knew how to run pretty fast. But having gone to these schools enabled me to have the skills to be able to get through college. When I got to be a senior, one of the counselors that we had at St. Augustine said to me, "Hueso, you're not college material." He kind of laughed and walked away from me. That really hit me really hard, and it made me study even harder. I remember when I talked to one of my teachers who went to UCLA, he said, "Take a ride, go up to UCLA, check out the campus." Everybody I knew that was older than me had gone to San Diego State, UCSD, the local colleges. Well, when I took a train ride up to LA and caught a taxi and went to the campus, I really was impressed with the campus. I graduated in 3 years. I was at the top of my class. I can boast that Cesar Chavez spoke at our graduation. My father got to meet him. For the first year that I studied at UCLA, I didn't qualify for financial aid because my father didn't want to take me off his income tax as an exemption, because he got some credit for that. And he didn't support my going to UCLA. He wanted me to go to San Diego State or UCSD. So for a whole year, he didn't talk to me. And because I didn't qualify for financial aid, I lived basically in my car. And so I know what it's like to live in a car. The sidewalk is kind of leading this way. The gutter is you're uncomfortable. You got to watch for the cops. You got to figure out where you're going to eat, where you're going to shower. Fortunately, UCLA had a big gym that you can go and shower in the morning, go to class. And eventually, my father came to visit me, and he said, "Wow," he was very impressed with the campus. And I set my sights, to go to law school, because eventually my father got me a job working for an attorney who is still a friend of mine and a supporter, and we meet regularly to talk about what my kids are up to. Having set my sights that high created real peer pressure with my brother and sister. As a result of the 9 of us, 7 went to UCLA. Okay. My sister went to UCSD and graduated from there to become a teacher. but only because my father pressured her. And all of the women that are present here, I urge you, don't let your father hold you down, or your parents in general, or your family. Go wherever you want. Go to Harvard, go to Yale, go to UCLA, go to Berkeley. Set your sights high. I have a daughter that graduated from UCSD, but I urged her to get away from the house. I wanted her to grow to mature. So she started at UC Santa Barbara, but she had a boyfriend in San Diego and came back. But she graduated. Because, you know, boyfriends come and go. Sometimes marriages do too. And I've had the good fortune of being married for 25 years and raising 4 children. And it's not of ethnic pride that I taught them to speak Spanish, because they know I speak English, obviously. I was born here. My wife was born in Boston, raised in Puerto Rico, but she speaks Spanish. But from the very commencement of my marriage, I had made a deal with my wife for educational purposes. My eldest daughter, who's now 24, who's going to start law school in August in Puerto Rico, which I'm very proud of, she's fully bilingual. And you don't know how many times she thanked me when we had her big wedding in Puerto Rico. My wife said to me, when are you going to talk English to our kids? I said, well, I've got it programmed in Spanish, so even now as adults, they only speak to me in Spanish. And again, it's not an ethnic pride issue. I mean, to some degree it is, but you want to, when you have your children, you want to empower them to make the most out of the situation. The fact that I'm first generation born here and that my children are all fluent in Spanish is a huge accomplishment. Most people lose it in the first generation. And I urge you to do the same. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's just being consistent and teaching them the basics. I'm also a musician. That's how I put myself through undergraduate. I play the guitar and sing. I have a repertoire of probably 150 songs. And I played in the mariachi band and a salsa band. I can play rock, rhythm and blues. So even if I wasn't an attorney, I could make a living playing the guitar and singing. All of my kids are musicians also. They all play at least 2 instruments, piano, violin, guitar. One of my children is very gifted. He's in college in Georgia, and he got in with a full scholarship. He plays the viola, which is a bigger version of the violin. He plays the violin extremely well, the piano, the guitar, the bass. He sings. He's 22 years old. He's an amazing guy. But all based on skills. And I tell young people, skills pay bills. Okay? Remember, if you remember anything today, it's that. Okay? One of the classes I took at UCLA was, sounds pretty good, Library and Information Science 163B. I remember that like it was yesterday. It was an advanced class. There were only 20 students in there. And our professor had a PhD in that field. And he takes a class like that. Well, I decided to take it because I talked to a lot of students. I networked. I knew I was going to go to law school. I wanted to get an A. And this was one of those classes where if you did everything by the book, you'd get a good grade. So here I was in this class. First day, the professor says, okay, get to know everybody in the room. Get to know as much as you can in 5 minutes of all the 20 students. And then report back to me the next day. And we did. And he said, everybody here devise a plan to literally kill your fellow classmates, theoretically, without the use of violence, poison, force, okay? Just out of sheer ignorance. I went home that weekend. I must have been in my 3rd year of college. And I thought long and hard, and I couldn't come up with a plan. It was suffocation, poison, strangling, starvation. And I was watching my mom, and she put some, she had a corn on the cob that was blue that she bought in Tijuana. And she took it off the cob, and, like 4 or 5 different pieces of corn, and she filled up a pot of this blue corn. Then she poured some white powder in it. Then she boiled it for an hour. And I was sitting there reading some books, watching her. And I asked her, when she started grinding to make the masa for quarter tortillas, and they're really good when they're blue, by the way. And I said to my mom, what was that white powder you put in there? And she told me it's, she said, "Callo" in Spanish, but it's lime. They put in cement, which makes it get hard. Well, Without this chemical process,